Hey everybody, what's up? This is my channel's 50th video, so in honor of my first 50 videos, I'm going to give you 50 fun facts about my favorite Star Trek film, First Contact. But before we start, I'm going to ask you to obviously like this video. Now, I know we can get more likes, guys. My last video had over 200 views, but only like 11 likes. We can do this. And since I passed this little milestone, I think it's also time we should pass an even better one. As of recording this right now, I'm at 89 subscribers, so I only need 11 more to break 100. You can help me out by just gently pressing that subscribe button down below. It's so easy, even Lieutenant Barclay could do it. And remember, resistance is futile. So, back to these 50 facts. Fact number 1. This was the first movie directed by Jonathan Frakes, aka Commander William Riker. He had directed several episodes of The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager prior, but he hadn't moved on to the big screen yet. Number 2. Rick Berman, Brandon Braga, and Ronald D. Moore were charged with writing the script to follow Star Trek Generations. When thinking it up, Berman told the other two he wanted to do a time travel movie, and Braga and Moore really wanted to do the Borg, so the three of them decided to mash those two ideas together, and voila! We have First Contact. Number 3. Speaking of the Borg, they were never really satisfied with the costumes they had for the Borg on the TV series due to budget restrictions. Having a bigger budget for the movie meant better costumes and sets, and these sets and costumes were reused on Voyager, where the Borg were a major antagonist. Number 4. Tom Hanks was originally considered for the role of Zefram Cochrane, and he wanted to be in the movie as he was a big fan of Star Trek, but he was busy writing, directing, and starring in That Thing You Do, so James Cromwell got the role instead. I would love Tom Hanks to be in a Star Trek film, but after watching Cromwell in this role, I really couldn't see anyone else playing the part. Number 5. James Cromwell was also the first person to ever say the words Star Trek in this film.
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
So, roll credits. That was a Simpsons joke there. Anyways, number 6. The opening scene where Picard had the Borg nightmare was actually the last scene shot for the film. Number 7. Cochrane's ship, the Phoenix, was built in the movie inside a missile silo from World War III. To create that set, the crew used an actual decommissioned missile silo of the Titan Missile Museum in Tulsa, Arizona. They made a fiberglass capsule to fit over the missile. Number 8. The moon's phase and position, as viewed from the Phoenix, was made to be close as to where it's predicted to be on April 5th, 2063, when the flight takes place in the movie. Number 9. The Borg suits and makeup had to be constantly reworked on because the actors playing them lost so much weight in filming because of the heat on set and in LA while filming. Number 10. So, after they travel back in time and destroy the Borg sphere, Riker asked Lieutenant Hawk, played by Neil McDonough, how much damage was done to the complex where they were firing upon. Hawk replied that the long-range sensors were still down. Obviously, in being in orbit around the Earth, short-range sensors would have sufficed, and Hawk was at the helm, so long-range sensor readings shouldn't even have been available to him. Plus, Riker was standing next to the science officer, so he could have easily asked him instead of, or just glanced off the science station and checked for himself. Way to go, Riker. Number 11. This was Lieutenant Reginald Barclay, played by Dwight Schultz's only appearance in the Star Trek film. However, he did appear on several Voyager episodes, including the finale. Number 12. Dwight Schultz had a conservative podcast called Howling Mad Radio, named after his A-Team role, and it ended in 2009. Number 13. This movie was released just 4 months after filming wrapped. Most movies spend up to a year in post-production, so for this movie, which was effects heavy, to turn out this movie that fast was quite a feat. Number 14. When the Phoenix was about to take off, there's a shot of the control panel that shows 2 buttons labeled TOS-3 and TOS-8. Zefram Cochrane was introduced in the 38th episode of the original series, so that was a hint to that. Number 15. The Borg on Enterprise E comprised of assimilated humans, Bolians, Cardassians, and Klingons. Number 16. The movie was produced at the same time as the 3rd season of Voyager and the 5th season of Deep Space Nine. Number 17. Before filming, Jonathan Frakes watched Alien, Aliens, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Blade Runner, and Jaws for inspiration. Number 18. Robert Picardo reprised his role as emergency medical hologram, where he says the joke,
"I'm a doctor, not a doorstop."
A joke that refers to the quote of Dr. McCoy for any time he was asked to perform any non-medical related jobs. Number 19. Lily refers to Picard as Ahab to attempt to show him his obsession with hunting down the Borg. Patrick Stewart later played Captain Ahab in the 1998 version of Moby Dick. Number 20, First Contact was the 8th Star Trek film, thus continuing the tradition of every other film being good. Number 21, Picard, Worf, and Hawk do a spacewalk to detach the deflector dish. The locks are labeled AE-35 after the AE-35 radio antenna from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Number 22, this was not the first Star Trek film to be directed by a cast member. The Search for Spock was also directed by Leonard Nimoy, who plays Spock. Number 23, an early draft of the script had them chase the Borg back to the Renaissance era, where the Borg would stop humanity from forming early European civilization. It was called Star Trek Renaissance. Data was going to become Leonardo da Vinci's apprentice, but it was going to be too campy. And Patrick Stewart refused to wear tights, so they had to rethink that one. Number 24, Whoopi Goldberg was not asked to return as Guinan, despite her character having a long-established hatred for the Borg before humans even learned of their existence. She found out about it by reading it in the newspaper. Number 25, Geordi tells Cochrane that in his future, the Phoenix Missile Complex will be a museum, and will have a 20-meter tall statue of him reaching towards the sky. We don't get to see that museum, but we do get to see a smaller scaled version of the statue on the shelf of Captain Archer's quarters on Enterprise. Number 26, the opening Borg nightmare sequence was added because they wanted to make sure non-Star Trek fans could figure out what they were talking about in the many references to him being Locutus of Borg. 27, Picard's Borg name was Locutus, which is Latin for spoken, so that fits Picard, what with all of his speeches. Number 28, James Cromwell claimed that Cochrane was the closest to any of his roles to his personality in real life, so I guess he likes to party? Number 29, Geordi's visor was replaced with ocular implants in this movie. LeVar Burton had been trying for years to get the showrunners to take away the visor so that he could show more emotion, and he finally got his wish. Number 30, Zefram Cochrane first appeared in the original series in an episode called Metamorphosis. He was played by Glenn Corbett. That Zefram Cochrane wasn't the same, however, because Kirk referred to him as Zefram Cochrane from Alpha Centauri. Corbett also was unable to reprise his role for this film because he passed away in 1993. 31, the eyepiece of one of the Borg contained a Star Wars TIE Fighter toy. Number 32, Alice Krieg, who played the Borg Queen, suffered a lot of discomfort from her costume. The silver contacts were so painful that she could only have them in her eyes for 4 minutes at a time. How'd they even film like that? Number 33, they did shoot on a very efficient schedule, however, and Jonathan Frakes earned the nickname of Two Takes Frakes at the end of filming for the efficiency of his style. Number 34, the spacewalk on the hull of the ship was the first time any of the Next Generation crew had been seen in the spacesuits. Number 35, this is also the first Star Trek movie in which none of the original series cast appear. Number 36, the devices that the Borg are installing onto the deflector shield are commercial restaurant water filters. Number 37, whenever Worf is kicking butt, you can hear the Klingon theme from previous movies. Number 38, in the Next Generation episode New Ground, Geordi discusses historic events and says how great it would be to see Cochrane make his first warp drive. He didn't watch him make it, but he does get to be on the first warp flight, so I guess that's close second. Number 39, after the movie Star Trek Generations, Worf became a member of the crew on Deep Space Nine, so in order for him to be present for this movie, they had him captain the Defiant at the Borg battle so that he could be rescued onto the Enterprise. Number 40, Picard's authorization code at the beginning of the movie is Picard 47 Alpha Tango. This is a long-running gag with the number 47 throughout the Next Generation episodes, such as in the episode Family, Picard drinks a 47 wine from his brother's vineyard. In Darmok, the word Darmok appeared in the ship's library 47 times. Ryder is patient 47 in The Frame of Mind. Stephen Hawking wins a hand of poker on the holodeck with a hand of 4 sevens, and tons more. It came about because writer Joe Manosky was part of a club in college called the 47 Society that believed that there is mathematical proof that all numbers are equal to 47. Number 41, Lily was terrified at the sight of the Borg for the first time, and that wasn't even acting. Alfred Woodard had never actually seen the Borg in any of the episodes before, so she was legitimately scared when on the set with them. Number 42, the movie was almost titled Star Trek Resurrection, but the 20th Century Fox had registered the title Alien Resurrection first, so they moved away. Number 43, this was the first Star Trek movie that received a PG-13 rating. Number 44, an earlier draft of the script had Lily named Ruby and was to be Picard's love interest as he assumed Cochrane's role after he was killed in the attack. When that plotline was changed, however, they kept the name Ruby as one of the characters Picard interacted with on the holodeck. Number 45, Ethan Phillips, who played Neelix on the Voyager, was the maitre d' on the holodeck. And number 46, when Picard climbs into the bridge to tell the crew,
Reports of my assimilation are greatly exaggerated.
This is a play on Mark Twain's quote, reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. 47, wait, I should have used this for the number 47 fact. Oh well, this movie had held the title of the highest worldwide gross sales until 2009 when Star Trek by J.J. Abrams came out. Number 48, Zephram asks Geordi,
Don't you people from the 24th century ever pee?
This could be a reference to the fact that toilets were never shown in the original series or the Next Generation. Number 49, back to the Defiant. It was built for the sole purpose of fighting and defeating the Borg. However, this film was the first and only time it encountered the Borg, and, well... And number 50, the Vulcan who came to Earth after sensing Cochrane's warp signature wasn't named in the movie, but later it was revealed that he was in fact Solkar, whose son became Ambassador Sarek, the father of Spock. Also, Cochrane's inability to make the Vulcan salute was a nod at how there were many people who have found it very difficult to split their fingers to produce the symbol. So I did it. I made 50 fun facts about First Contact, my favorite film in the franchise of Star Trek. Did you enjoy them? Well, subscribe, even though I don't know if I'll be making a list like this again. That's it for me now. I'm Mr. Movie Lover, and I love movies. Bye.